Hello, my name is Colton and I'm from the Coastwise Development Team. Today we're going to be building the STELLA Q2 with our modified housing. The parts you're going to start with is your housing, your front and your back side. Now let's get into the wiring. Your wiring is going to compose of a battery pack, a button, some more wires, microcontroller, more wires, your battery pack, your device, your sensor that is collecting that spectra data, another wire, and then your display board. Now, these are going to be all the materials you're going to be using to build your STELLA Q2 today. Let's begin. The first thing I want you to do is look to make sure all the materials are in your desk with your groups. Awesome. You're first going to take all of your wiring off of your board to make a clear area. Now, we're going to start with wiring everything together before putting in the housing. So you're going to start with your battery. Your battery is going to be connected to your button. Now, when we're plugging in electrical cords, there is a female and a male side. Make sure the female and the male are connecting and not two males or two females. You'll connect it as so. Now that you have those two connection points, we're going to move on to our next part, which is going to be our microcontroller. Microcontroller is going to be plugged in right here for our battery powered. You'll then connect one of the tiny wires we have to your microcontroller through this port. Now, if you are a little confused, right now we have our battery going to our on and off switch, not to our on and off switch, to our data collection switch, and then to our microcontroller. From here, we're going to grab this part that looks like a green circle. We're going to plug this side right here, like so. You're then going to grab another tiny wire. It doesn't matter which sides of the tiny wire you're plugging in, all of them. You're going to plug that in. Now, you should be hearing a clicking sound when you put in all your electrical wires, and that means the current in the connection is strong and positive. Now, so far you should have your battery, your button, your microcontroller, and your second button. Please raise your hand at this time if you do not have all of those assembled. Awesome. Our next step is to put our battery. This is our second battery life. We're going to put this in right here. And this battery can be re-inserted. It's just a simple battery you can find at any store. Plug that in. You're going to grab another tiny wire. You're going to plug this in. You'll have two connection points right here. Your next step is going to be right here. This is a very sensitive piece, so make sure you're not touching any of the sensors in the middle so we can still collect our spectra. You're going to put this right here. And you're going to grab your other side of your tiny wire. This is going to be your last wire. You're going to put it right here. Okay, our last step is going to be taking our display board right here. And this tiny port right here, we're going to plug it in right there. Awesome. So now you are done with the Q2 wiring. We will print out diagrams for you guys to have to be able to place all your parts together. And then we'll be coming around to make sure all your electrical currents and stuff like that is good. We're now going to be moving on to the hard part, which is putting everything into the housing. So move your wires and stuff to the side. Let's talk about the housing a little bit. Our housing has two parts, our front and our back side. This is our front, since it has all the buttons to our display and all the wording. This is our back, since we have an extruded part right here to hold our data collection. As we flip them over, you can see that there is tiny holes that look like screw patterns. This is used to clamp together the case through our screws. You will have 4 of these provided. Now, the first thing we're going to do with the case is we're going to grab our battery pack. Our battery pack is going to go right here. Now, with our battery pack, we want to make sure the wire is sticking out towards the left. When we're sticking all of it in here, everything is really snug, so you want to make sure that none of the wires are getting folded in half when you're doing it or getting caught on anything. I'm going to push that through. We're going to keep going. Now, your next step is going to be putting the button through. The button goes right here. Snaps into place right there. Now, after this, you can take your screwdriver or any other tools you have, and this is going to make it a lot easier to put in all this extra wiring. So, make sure your extra controller parts are away, and we're going to be wrapping around this housing through our 2 circles right here, which are cylinders, and you're kind of going to be wrapping them around. And you want it super tight so we can close the case good. So just wrap it around. Okay. Try to make sure it's not tangled like how it was. Do that right there. Cool. Now this is where it gets a little snug. Cool. You keep yanking it. We're going to stuff it in there. There we go. Now, like the mistake I just made, you want the button facing outside so you can actually get to it. That'll be your first 2 steps. So make sure your battery is all the way connected. You go around the 2 cylinders for your button. Then we're going to do the same thing. So right here, we're going to grab this. Now, if it is easier, feel free to unplug to be able to wrap around. Personally, I don't think it is very easier. I don't think it's much easier, but if that is easier for you, then go ahead and do that. I'm gonna wrap these wires around now. We get this wired across here, you're going to want to make sure all of this is pushed in the most. Now, if you can see, there is some exposed damage to the wire, which is completely fine. It's just the outer layer. Make sure you're being more gentle when you're putting all this in. This will then pop into place right here. Now, if it's not popping into place like mine, if you can see, there's this little tiny part right there. You want to make sure that that is getting in that crevice. Okay, because that's what's making it stick out. And plop it in. Now, this part is a little tricky because it tends to pop out quite a bit. You also want to make sure this corner is in all the way. There you go. Okay, now it's this part. So we're going to be wrapping this wire around. It's going to come right here. We're going to put this right here, and it's going to click again. Okay. I'm going to wrap this wire around. It's going to go right on top. Okay, all good. Now, our next thing is our battery, is our extra battery. So, this part is going to go up here. So we're going to bring this around. Put it right here. And again, there's 4 extruded parts. Just put it through the holes. Snap into place. Okay. Next part is you see all these little wirings right here. You're going to place those through. These are 2 little posts. You're just placing all those through. The same on this side. When you're done with all your amazing wiring, you're going to put these through. You're going to try to get as tight as you can. Put that through, post. And then if you want to get that one too, you can. It's mainly just to clean up everything, so if it's already pretty clean, don't worry about it, but it'll make everything a lot easier when you open it up so everything doesn't fly. Now, remember, this is a very delicate part and very easy to break. The main thing that is easy to break about these parts is the 2 wire connection points on the side. Now, these 2 wire connection points tend to break off and you can't fix them. So, first thing you're going to do, you're going to slide this in like this, and you're going to press in. Okay, now that's in. Now, how you know what side is what? You'll have a little tiny rectangle, and that side is the side that's sliding in. This is a sliding mechanism. You're going to come in here. You're going to again put these through the hole. Put these through the 2 posts, like this and like this. And then you can round it right here if you want. It is a little tighter. Then put your display. Now, congratulations, you have finished the wiring and setup. So, next, to make sure everything doesn't fall. Now, we do have new cases for the Coastwise development program, so depending on how well they work, you won't have to use these. But if these still fall out, like the display is, we're going to use our display and battery. So, display, simply, there's 2 little clicks right here. And this is being clicked in, okay? So, you're going to click in this, right here. Now, it's going to be a little bit of an annoyance. And kind of fold it in half, like that. Okay, and that's going to keep it all in place. You're going to take your battery. You're simply going to go right here. Again, you kind of fold it. Kind of fold it into that place. There you go. Okay, now you have all of the wiring done for the Q2 Stella. So, you're going to put your case on. Case is going to fit. You'll see it wobbling and it's kind of cracking and not fitting because we have not screwed it in. So, I'm going to take our 4 screws and line it up in the holes. Screw it in. Now, you don't need to crank these super tight, but you need to crank them tight enough where everything feels snug, nothing's coming out. Okay, now that we have all of our screws attached, you are done. Congratulations, you have built a STELLA Q2. Now, let's make sure it can power on. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click this power button. Awesome. This is all working. Wait a few seconds. We are making sure the green, red, your display, which takes a few seconds to load on like you could see on mine, and then that light flashes. You should be on batch 0 unless you have a pre-used one, and here where it's automatically collecting data as we speak. Thank you guys for coming on to this presentation about how you build your STELLA Q2 with our modified casing, and we hope you have fun building it.